Dunk, dunk.
Welcome to Monday, and welcome to National Pink Day. Hence
It is.
why I'm wearing pink today. My favorite color.
Yes, it is. You asked me if I had any pink cracking gear, and I do not. I could go put on a pink shirt if you want.
No, it would break your Kraken brand, so I
That's
don't want you
true.
to do that.
That's true. But
I just,
yes,
wear pink if you can today.
Happy Pink Day. What is it? What are they saying? It's National
I got my
Pink
pink
Day.
phone. I got my kind of pink cup. I'm ready.
I don't have anything pink.
Without
Sorry.
much effort, I'm ready, I should say.
This could be any old day for you, by the way. It's true. Hey, it's CURT Jen. This is our podcast. Thank you for listening. We'd appreciate it if you would like or follow or love or subscribe, all those things.
Or
Thumbs up would be good. We'll
Yeah.
take anything we can get. And today we've got a show chock full of info, including questions the smartest and most successful people ask.
Yep. And wearing this particular color makes you less anxious. Plus, our question of the day: what are you looking forward to this summer, or most looking forward to this summer? I forgot to post it. Thank goodness for Laurel, our loyal listener, who at 10 o'clock last night messaged me on Facebook and said, "Where's the question of the day? I'm ready to answer it."
I love that there's people that look forward to that and remember it and like, what the H, you guys? We need this. We also have a interesting and maybe creepy story as to why a Chucky doll is involved in a court case, and a startup that claims it will help you cheat on everything.
And CURT is going to explain what FOPO is.
FOPO, yeah. You haven't heard of FOPO?
Fear of the police, the POPO?
Well, that's actually pretty funny. That's not what it is, but all right, here we go, everybody, with our show.
First and foremost, CURT, how was your weekend?
Well, it was good, thank you. Of course, it involved these two new puppies, which are in the room. So if we get some squeaky toy noise, or, they tend to wrestle a lot, which is, at one point it's hilarious. And also sometimes, they get their teeth going. You're like, man, you guys are actually trying to kill each other.
Tilly and
Teddy.
Tilly and
Theodore
Teddy.
and Matilda. Yeah.
Theodore
So we took them to Grandma's house, which actually is my wife's house, that her mom is living in, and they had a whole third acre to run around in yesterday, and boy did they run, and boy were they tired afterwards. Must be, since we don't have kids, is that how you feel when you have babies and you somehow exhaust them and they just crash out?
Yeah, that is a dream come true for a parent.
And I have a question to post, but should I wait till later in the show after we talk about? Okay.
Now.
This is, it's a simple thing, and it made me think of something else. I cannot, for whatever reason, I cannot find my hair gel, right? So I just whip my hair down and make it a little bit spiky. I don't know where the hair gel is, which led me to think, excuse me, there are times that I can't locate something where it's supposed to be, and then I'll go and ask Dana, where is such and such? And she's like, well, why didn't you look in the other cabinet? And I was like, why would I look in the other cabinet? It's always in this place. So that's and she is under the impression that, well, if you can't find it under the sink or whatever, then look under the other sink, or look in the medicine cabinet or whatever. I'm like, if it's not where it's supposed to be, I'm done looking.
CURT Cruz.
Why would I look so?
At least look in a few other places, and then if you still can't find it, then ask your wife. Did your wife know where it was?
Yes, but I said, well, why did you put such and such there? It's like, well, at the time I was using it in that room or whatever. And it's not, if it's stuff that gets moved around a lot, like, oh, I can't find the screwdriver or where the scissors because they, that's, I think, fair. But if I say, every day for the last 30 years, hair gel has been right here. If it's not there, I assume that it got thrown away. Well, I don't know why.
If someone else is using your hair gel, they should absolutely be putting it back where they found it. I would agree with that.
All right. I just, and I'm not upset about it. I just wonder if anybody else has gone through that. It's like, because then she's like, well, why didn't you just look here? It's like, why would I think of looking there? It's not in the hair gel place.
Okay.
Those are the biggest discussions and disagreements we have. That's not so bad then, is it?
Not so bad.
How about your weekend?
On Friday, we celebrated Macy's last day of school. It's our tradition to go out and do fun things. So we went out to lunch, we went out to dinner, we did pedicures together, did a little shopping. And then Saturday, she got real sick. her dad's side of the family have all been real sick in that house, and she brought it over here. So I'm doing all the things I can to not get sick.
Including doing the show remotely. That's a good idea.
I didn't even think of that actually. And yesterday, I loved this. I went over to my friend's house who has this massive cherry tree, and I picked cherries. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a pie today or tomorrow. I'm going to make a pie. But I'm like,
Right.
I have to pit all these things. And
That's correct.
He's like, well, you could get a cherry pitter, or you could just use a paring knife and just cut them. I'm like, both those sound like a lot of work.
Yep.
So I Googled cherry pitting hacks, and I found one that has worked like a charm. And that is, you take a straw, like a hard straw, like one from one of your reusable cups.
Okay.
And the skinnier, the better. Like this one's kind of a fat one. I wouldn't use this one. And you literally just pop the cherry out from the top, and it comes out the bottom. It is awesome.
Okay.
There you go. There's your cherry pitting hack.
I thought there were two ways to pit the cherry. There was a cherry pitter, or you start eating the cherry and spit out the pit. Right?
Well, if you're making pie, that doesn't work very well.
Your hack is very, very much better than that. So, all right, there we go.
Oh, these are quick little, just like, oh, here's things where you need to know. Like, Kurt, what's the deal with the NBA Finals? Because the last game was played, last night?
Right, and the winner is the
Seattle Supersonics.
Thunder. Yeah, the Sonics, exactly. In different uniforms and with a different name. The Thunder of Oklahoma City in 7 games, so it went the full round. They won in the NBA Finals. They beat Indiana. They took home their first ever championship. Go Sonics.
They're just prepping to come back to Seattle. How will that work, actually? Do they come back to Seattle, or do we just start a whole new team and Oklahoma stays Oklahoma?
I am not sure.
Okay.
I don't think they would. I mean,
they wouldn't come back. They've established their own team. So we just start the new Seattle Supersonics.
But they got to have that name again. They got to be the Sonics again.
And they got to be the same colors. Like if they change any of it, meaning I don't even know who they are, but don't do it.
Don't do it. Also, I like that you put on here the Dollywood story. Dollywood's taking over the Las Vegas Strip. Country music icon Dolly Parton will headline a limited engagement at Caesar's Palace this December in conjunction with the National Finals Rodeo.
Yeah, she said, to say I'm excited would be an understatement. I haven't worked Vegas in years, and I've always loved singing there. I'm looking forward to the shows in the Coliseum at Caesars, and I hope you are as well. I think it would be fun to see Dolly just because she's so iconic.
Are you kidding me? I think it'd be great to see Dolly Parton. And also, I like the fact that Vegas has not become, and it used to be, that was where you went as a performer. That's kind of where you went to die. It's like, all right, well, we used to sell out arenas, then we started doing, state fairs, and now, well, I guess we'll go to Vegas and wrap up our career.
Well, but don't say that about Dolly, because Dolly's old. If you say that's where they go to die, she literally could.
Okay, I'm sorry. I should have rephrased that perhaps. But it's no longer like a bad, cheesy, who's in Vegas? Wayne Newton, type of thing. You get a lot of great, especially with the Sphere there now, you get a lot of great shows in Vegas.
Yeah.
Now, I want to hear about this as well, because you said, don't look this up. I want it to be a surprise. We have one of our former coworkers was crowned King of Seafair.
Yes, he was knighted, and it is Eric Johnson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Former Como TV anchor and just all around good guy. Honestly, he's really a great dude.
Eric's Little Heroes he's known for. I mean, he's so great. Like if people that know him know, like he's just like this genuinely amazing, wickedly talented human being, and I'm so excited for him. It's so awesome. Good job, Seafair.
And I think a lot of people don't know how funny he is. He's a funny guy, and of course he does a lot of stories on the news where humor doesn't come into it at all. But I mean, I don't mean to brag, but I also am Seafair royalty.
You are?
Well, you don't get this. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Let me show you what it says here.
Seafair royalty. How did you get that?
I was not crowned king of Seafair. There was a year back when we were doing, it was Kurt, Corrine, and Leonard doing the morning show. Corrine and I were I don't know, on the court, I guess. I think that they called me like the Duke of DJs or something like that.
Oh,
Um,
I love that, Kurt. I don't
it
remember
was,
that, but that's awesome.
yeah. Well, we kept it kind of low key because, yeah, we don't really
You're not
brag.
braggers.
We don't have things like this that we put on our desk,
I'm
Um,
kind of a big deal.
nobody would
Louise.
have that. That was a gift, by the way. I would not have bought that for myself. I'm kind of a big deal.
Well, I was super excited to see that Eric Johnson, formerly
King.
of Como TV, is King Neptune for Seafair, and the Queen. I forget the Queen's name, like Neptune, and I forget, but it's Carmen Best, the former
No.
former SPD, whatever.
Chief, right?
Yeah,
Police
former
chief, I
SPD
think.
chief. Yeah, you're right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Go, Eric. Nice. What have we here, Jen Pirak?
Well, this ex Google exec and now author, her name's Jenny Wood, said this and wrote an article about it. The smartest and most successful people I know ask these 7 powerful questions, and it'll make you look like you're someone with great ideas. So
Oh.
she kind of wrote it in the context of like if you're in an interview, but it could be, even if you're like at a networking event or something. And she said that the bottom line, and this is what her book is about too, is curiosity. And she
Mm-hmm.
said curiosity is a skill that can be cultivated. It's actually a superpower. Children under 5 ask about 180 questions a day, but then adults usually squash that instinct. And she's like, we need to make that flourish, which I love asking questions.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I had not
really,
noticed.
Kurt Cruz. So I was just going to run through some of the 7 and maybe a little commentary with it. The first one is, what's one thing you wish you knew when you were in my shoes? Which I think is a fantastic interview question.
A
If
great question to ask your boss. Eagerness. You're not looking for shortcuts. If you sense they're comfortable with being vulnerable, you can say, okay, what's one thing you wish you knew when you were in my shoes?
Yeah, and then she said you could ask, you were going there, if you were feeling comfortable, if you sense they're comfortable about being vulnerable, what's one of the hardest leadership lessons you've learned? These are great insights to like learning about the person and learning from maybe their mistakes or their experience, right?
And supposedly it'll make you look smart if you ask other questions like, what changes do you foresee in our industry and how can I prepare? Or how did you recover from a past failure? There's a big one. You have to talk about your past failures.
Yeah, that's a hard question to ask at an interview though.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, what qualities do the top performers in this role have? That's a great question.
Right. What's the most exciting thing that happened to you this week? You know what? That's kind of just fun to share. And,
I
and
love
it,
that
it probably
question.
will reveal something about the personality of that person.
Yeah. What's something people usually get wrong about you? And I actually use this is kind of a subset of that question. What's something people usually get wrong about you is,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to ask this in interviews that I would do when I was hiring, is how would your closest friends describe you in 5 words?
Ooh.
Because I would ask that in a couple different ways. I said, how would your friends and family describe you? And how would your past coworkers describe you?
I'm sorry. I was just trying to think of those 5 words. I wasn't coming up with anything. No.
Finally,
Uh,
the last question is, what's the best compliment you've ever gotten?
oh, wow.
Yeah, research shows that people's pleasure centers light up when they share their opinion or talk about themselves. So when you make people feel good, they're bound to like you more, and likability matters in your career. There
Could you
you go.
remember, if I asked you, could you remember what the best compliment you have ever gotten was?
No, I would really have to think about that. I got in the gym the other day. I got this gal that I never met. I had said something to her. I forget what I said. I forget. Anyway, she came up to me. She came up to me after I said whatever I said. Oh, I think I said, because we were going to do a class together and we were supposed to get weights. And I said, you can lift more than you think. Like just a
Mm.
little challenge. And she came back up to me. She's like, I just want you to know that you have the prettiest eyes. They have so much joy in them.
Oh, wow.
I know.
That's pretty awesome.
That was very nice.
From a complete stranger, too.
Yeah.
Mine was when Dave Matthews said he liked the mix of music I was playing at that event.
Kurt, that's a great call. I mean, that's mega. Wow, Oh, Dave Matthews is saying he likes the music mix. I'm kind of a big deal. Kurt's holding up his sign that he has on his desk that says kind of a big deal.
Let's move on from there. Okay. Sorry.
It's not that easy being green.
Well, I guess that gives away the headline, which is wearing this particular color can make you less anxious.
It's not that easy being green. Okay.
Green is that color.
Let's get to that. Yeah, this is there's something called color psychology, the study of how different colors can affect your mood and behavior, which if you think about it is a thing, you know. I mean, it's like
it's a big dang thing, because here's the other thing is that McDonald's specifically uses red and yellow in their logo, not by accident, because those two colors make you want to eat.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's break this down a little further. So yeah, you're so red, yellow, and orange, and that would be the McDonald's logo. Those are also known as warm colors. They can evoke feelings ranging from warmth to hostility. Ugh.
Well, when I read an article about their colors, they had done a lot of research back that, like,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Keep going.
Blue, purple, and green are known as the cool colors. They can make you feel anything from calm to sadness. So I wonder how you determine. It's like if I make this sign blue, is it going to make people sad or calm?
I mean, that's true.
But here's the one color, according to a color psychology expert, one color stands above them all, especially when you wear it. This color expert says green is the psychological primary color that balances the other three, red, yellow, and blue. If you're too stressed, green will calm you. If you're down in the dumps, it will lift you up. It's a calming color. And she says, I love wearing green.
Okay.
Studies show seeing the color green in your environment lowers your stress level. Like if you see a green space in a city, it can lower your blood pressure and heart rate. Clearly, that's actually, I think that's, I just thought about that. But yeah, if you're driving around in a congested area and all of a sudden there's a green patch, like, oh, I want to go there.
That makes
I don't want any of this other
whole,
crap. I want to go there to the green.
The whole nature thing is, you know, there's something to be said about that.
Okay. So wearing green can make you less anxious.
But not today, because today is National Pink Day.
But not today, because today is National Pink Day. Yes. And this song may not be, well, this is kind of a giveaway too, but question of the day from Friday. What are you most looking forward to this summer? I think we should start with ours. Jen, did you have something?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being on the boat more.
Yes. Well, you just got a boat, so.
On Lake Chelan and on Lake Roosevelt.
Awesome, because you are a water baby.
I do like being on a boat. Yeah.
I don't know. What are you most looking forward to this summer? You know what? I have a friend that moved back to the area, and I am looking forward to spending time with an old buddy that's been gone for about 9 years.
Who's that? Garrett?
Garrett, yeah.
Did he get a job here?
Yes, we can talk about that more on another show.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, you know, and also just spending time with the dogs and, of course, my wife. I can't emphasize enough, and I think Dana gets annoyed sometimes. I like being around her all the time. All the time.
Who? Dana?
Yeah.
That's nice, Kurt. That will play into a different story later on.
Well, when she's working on stuff for work or for her business, and I'm like, hey, give me some attention. That's probably what it is. It's probably the kid in me trying to get attention. What are you most looking forward to this summer? We have answers from Jennifer, who led to that song we played, Vacation. I get teased at work that I don't exist once summer hits. On vacation.
Jennifer works for an espresso stand. She owns an espresso stand locally. Oh. So when she's not there, people definitely notice.
Okay. Carrie said visiting Budapest, or Budapest, as some people say.
She's very excited. She and Randy are going to do that on a cruise. I'm so jealous.
My sister called me yesterday. She's like, and this is funny, just like, who called you about the question of the day? Laurel. My sister Terry is like, so what was the question from Friday? And I was like, oh, I think it was, what are you looking forward to this summer? And she's like, no hurricanes. Because they live in Florida.
Oh, okay.
And then, like a dummy, I'm like, so there's not going to be any hurricanes this summer? And she's like, no, there probably will be, but if there's none, that would be nice.
She's putting it out in the universe is what she's doing. She's manifesting no hurricanes.
That's a good idea.
Sonia said visiting friends and family. Laurel, this was Laurel's answer. She was chomping at the bit to answer this because I know she's a big fan of these. The Mill Creek Town Center concerts for sure on Wednesday night. So every Wednesday night in Mill Creek in the Bothell area.
It's actually pretty cool. I
Yes.
shouldn't say it's actually pretty cool, like it was bad. It's like, yes, it is. They get some bands up there. The Davinos, friends of mine, play down there every now and again. That's a fun live band, mostly covers, but they do it's just a 3-piece, drums, bass, and guitar.
She posted the schedule on our Facebook page.
That's true. If you want
to see it, you can visit our Facebook page.
Yeah, Wednesday nights in Mill Creek. Also, finally, Jenny said, "Getting out of my walking boot." Oh, she must have had something. Do you know Jenny?
I know Jenny, but I don't know why she's been in a walking boot, so she'll have to tell us. She says it's been too long. I wonder what she did. We don't have very many answers today. It's my fault. Like I said at the beginning of the show, it's because I forgot to post it. I thought I did. I mean, I was telling Kurt, I actually said to myself on Sunday, oh, the post. Oh, wait, I did that on Saturday. I did that yesterday. No big deal. Okay, I don't have to do it today.
Isn't that interesting? How, first of all, don't be so hard on yourself because it's every now and again. That's all right, obviously.
I mean, in the big scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal.
But the funny thing about what you said is that it happens with me too. It's like maybe I just thought about it on Friday and in my head I completed the task. And then you asked me on Sunday, I was like, oh yeah, I did that on Friday. No, you didn't. No, you didn't, mister.
So frustrating.
A water break? Good idea. All right.
That wasn't Alanis, for the record.
Pretty good.
It was good. It sounded like her. That's why I had to say that.
Yeah. We should explain that real quick. If we play actual songs from actual artists, that are licensed and stuff, they don't like that.
Pinged. They block our podcast for a little bit and then they take out the music.
Like, we're not making a dime from this, but I suppose they would say, you use that Alanis Morissette clip in your show. You could make $5.
We want royalties for that from $0 US.
Alanis Morissette recently opened up and shared, when Jagged Little Pill came out, she was only 21 years old, which actually sounds kind of old compared to, so-and-so was 15.
Yeah.
She said it was a rough time. There was no one to hide behind. What I found in terms of the lovely patriarchy was at that time, if men couldn't sleep with me, they didn't know what to do with me. Wow.
That's what she said. She said the hardest part about sudden fame for Alanis Morissette was people wanting to have sex with her all the time.
Wow. She adds, I have an anxious, depressive tendency. Those who are sensitive are much more susceptible to their environmental information. She sounds like she's researched this a lot. If you put a highly sensitive person in an environment where they're browbeaten or reduced, they basically want to, they want to do bad things to themselves.
Yeah. It's the worst, she said. So she spent the next 25 years faking being an extrovert. Quote, this is her quote, tequila, anything that allowed me to be the life of the party. Or if I was doing a talk, Xanax, anything that would help me pretend I'm not me. That is so sad.
It is sad. And I am in no way comparing us to Alanis Morissette, but there are certainly times with anybody's job where you have to sort of, be that person. It's like, I'm having a rough day.
You got to be on.
Right. And it felt like with what we did in radio, there were times when it felt like you had to be on all the time. And that would get kind of old. Honestly, I was always concerned that the one time I would be in a grumpy mood, or whatever, would be the time that I bump into somebody at Fred Meyer and they go, you're that radio dude. And I'd be like,
Yeah.
And that's all it takes. They have somebody say, that guy's a jerk. So it's but particularly like she said, if you have a personality where you're kind of, kind of keep to yourself or whatever, then I don't know. I would not like to do that. I believe that. No, I was going to say, I believe that there are better ways of people have better ways of dealing with that now than they used to, because used to be if you were a kid star or whatever, you were just sort of thrown to the wolves. I think now that they try to. Don't they have people on sets and stuff to make sure that the kids are?
There's way more resources now. They're good. Everybody has their own struggles in their jobs, but I feel like if you're a star, you have some resources that many others would not necessarily have access to. So
that also seems to be true. I don't know. I just found that it said spooky music bed.
Okay.
Is that spooky?
Oh, Disneyland ride-ish.
It's in a minor key. There are no Disneyland songs in minor keys.
There aren't?
Oh, there probably are.
No, like when you go into an attraction.
Right.
Like the Haunted Mansion.
Okay. You're probably right there. The reason we are playing spooky music is for this. A North Carolina woman filed a lawsuit against her former employer, Truist Bank. She claims they harassed her with a doll from the horror movie, the Chucky Child's Play movies, you know? They discriminated against her because of her disabilities.
What? What is the deal?
Well, Chucky, you know, does everybody know who Chucky is?
Yeah. That's a scary doll.
He's possessed in the movie Child's Play, goes on a murdering spree or whatever. The lawsuit claims that during the woman's last week of training, her manager deliberately placed the doll in her chair, even though she knew, or the manager knew, that this lady had a fear of dolls, and how the fear negatively affected her disabilities, which include generalized anxiety disorder, major depressive disorder, and autoimmune disorder vitiligo. The lawsuit also claimed the manager laughed after seeing the woman's reaction.
That's terrible.
It's not good.
She said that she shared at a team cookout at the boss's house that she was afraid of dolls, and that it very much affected her in a negative way, like, you know, for some psychological reason. Who knows why.
Right.
But she did share that, and then he took advantage of that vulnerability. That is so effed up.
I knew a Jennifer, not you, another Jennifer, who, you know, not a close friend or anything, but she was known to have a fear of clowns. And so I think as an attempted joke, her boyfriend, this goes back to, you know what the place was? It was the Drift On Inn. Remember that place?
Yeah.
Debbie's Drift On Inn, I think is what it was called, on Aurora.
Yeah, Aurora.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm spinning music there on whatever Friday or Saturday nights, and they come in, and he has arranged to have the Seafair pirates and some clowns come in. She completely lost it. There was nothing any remotely funny about it at all. I mean, she was just bawling and in tears and terrified. So, you know, I mean, as much as some people might say, or whatever, a disability, you're scared of clowns, or you're scared. I mean, she was reduced to, it was frightening to see. So, and it was also not a good prank to play on your girlfriend, it turns out.
Well, this was mean. And she said what did she say? She said that the lawsuit also claimed the manager laughed after seeing the woman's reaction. I think you said that, right?
Yeah.
The Chucky's doll incident she was placed on medical leave for 8 weeks to treat her disability. She said she was also not newly diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder after the Chucky doll incident.
I'm you know what? I recognize that it sounds kind of funny because it's a Chucky doll, and like this, some people might see this as a humorous story. It's and a lot of people, I think, oh, come on, you've got PTSD from a doll. You know, they treat it very lightly, and so I could see how most people would say, you know, I'm scared of balloons, but I'm around balloons all the time or whatever. But when it's these people, I mean, it's a serious issue. So I guess we'll see what happens. If she gets, I don't know, she's asking for money or anyway. All right, just keep that in mind next time you see Chucky.
Okay.
I hope to never see Chucky again.
Could it be I'm falling in love?
It's your baby.
Could
it be I'm falling in love? All
Sing
right.
that song.
Could it be
Well, I don't know. This is a cover of the song.
I know, but you know all the things, Kurt.
You know what? You've just
I stumped you for the first time ever in my whole life, for real. I'm looking it up.
You go with the story. I'll look up the group.
I love this story. A Harvard professor who studied love for 25 years reveals that one sign that your relationship will last a lifetime has nothing to do with romantic passion. It has to do with being their best friend. Like, that's your best friend that you're spending your life with. So I asked Kurt, I said, Kurt,
yeah,
is Dana your best friend?
Yeah. I just told you, she's like my favorite person to be around. So that's a good thing in this case.
So he was talking with some on a podcast called The Drive, and he shared the signs that the relationship will last a lifetime. And during their chat, the pro explained that the key finding is a partner who is also your best friend, as the bond that will remain even as the initial chemistry sizzles. One of
Hmm.
the most important things for a happy life is a partnership with someone who will be the last person you set your eyes on and take your last dying breath with. That is really, really important, he said. You've got to really like that person is your person, your ride
Yeah.
or die.
And I have friends like that you look at them and just say, man, you guys have got it figured out. I mean, a lot of us are in relationships that are fine, but some people just seem to really, you know, I just they're just a joy to be around, and they really get a joy, enjoy each other's company, and it's just I'm like I hope that all relationships are. I wish that they were all like that.
I'm reflecting on the people whose relationships I hold in high regard,
Hmm.
and they are best friends.
Yep.
I mean, you take Carrie and Randy, for
Yep.
instance.
Good example.
My Sharon John, my best friend since school, like high school, really.
Right.
And
My
then Kent and
friends from
Kelly,
I was going to say my friends from Detroit, Rich and Carlin, just whatever it is, they got it, and
Carrie
that's
and
not to say
Christopher.
that
Yeah, so many.
yeah,
Yes.
it's awesome. Do we have time for both of these two stories at the end here?
Yeah, let's try it. Let's go.
All right. Well, I'm lost now. I don't. Oh, I got to just play this here. I just got to play regular old generic music in between stories like this one.
Okay, the startup,
Oh, real quick, the Spinners sing that song.
the Spinners. Thank you.
I thought of it after you mentioned it, and then I looked it up, and it was actually that was what it was. Could it be I'm Falling in Love?
A startup that helps people use AI to cheat on everything. So they say this is an interesting story to me. They say cheaters never prosper, but not in this case. And here, I'm going to back up very quickly. My
Okay.
daughter encountered this at the University of Washington. She was in a group project, and one of the guys in the group used AI, and
Hmm.
it's it's very, very bad when you're at a university. So there's a startup called Cluely, which openly boasts that it can help everyone cheat on everything, and it's raising a lot of investment money. They just got another $15 million in funding on top of the earlier $5.3 million they had. The two founders kicked out of Columbia University for creating a tool called Interview Coder that helped engineers cheat on technical interviews.
Hmm. So this is what the deal says. It's what it does is, again, this is called Cluely, Cluely. It uses an undetectable, quote unquote, AI to coach people through virtual interviews and calls, basically telling them what to say. That's what this original thing did that these two founders came up with. So now they're taking it to but claiming that they can help you. Here's a device or some software or whatever, an app that can help you cheat on literally everything.
You can use it in your personal life, like online dating. You could basically trick someone into thinking you know a lot about one of their interests, like art, when you're really just reading off a real-time script.
Mm.
They put a video out suggesting that their tools could someday be used in person on an actual date, but that's in the future. And their whole thing is they're hanging their hat on, it's considered cheating today, but it won't be considered cheating tomorrow. Like in the future, this is not going to be cheating. It's going to be the norm.
Well, it's going to maybe become the norm, but how is it not cheating? Or I guess what you're saying is cheating will become the norm.
I guess.
I don't like that either. All right.
I don't know about this.
Real quick, because we talked about this at the beginning of the show, FOPO.
Yeah, I want to know about it, Kurt. Tell me.
I like your thing. Is that fear of the police, the POPO? No. FOPO is a dangerous habit most people don't realize they're partaking in, and here's why experts say it's a hidden epidemic. It is fear of the PO, by the way, fear of people's opinions. And we all have been there. We're like, oh, what will so-and-so think? Or what will people think if I do this or whatever? But apparently this is a damaging habit for a lot of people if you let this fear control your day-to-day stuff.
I feel like many teenagers have that.
Right. There's a psychologist. He came up with the concept. He describes it as a hidden epidemic. People that suffer from FOPO, fear of people's opinions, lose faith and confidence in themselves, and their performance suffers. It also can cause people to have low self-esteem and self-confidence. Although I was wondering, it's like, well, if you have low self-esteem, does that not lead to the FOPO, or is it the other way around? So what you can do if you know somebody, or if you feel that you're living with FOPO, here's ways to identify it. Maybe you pretended you watch a movie or a TV show others are discussing, so you can participate. Laughing at jokes when you don't find the humor in it. Feeling anxious that you're taking too long to order at a cafe when there's a line behind you. things like that.
That's how to identify if you have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not wanting to leave work before your boss does. These are the fear of people's opinions. So they're saying it's about rewiring your brain. So instead of wondering, what does that person think of me? We can rewire the mechanism to turn inward and check against our purpose. Am I being true to my purpose becomes the new reference point rather than am I being liked?
I feel like there's a fine line between that and I don't know what the right word is, because if you're standing in line, if you're ordering coffee and you're kind of being high maintenance, like I worry about, oh my God, I'm taking up way too much time here.
Right.
Because I'm trying to be respectful of other people's time too, because everyone's, there to get in, get out, and I'm taking up more time than I had anticipated. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah. But I wonder if that's, that sounds like that one thing is not that big of a deal. That's just in your mind trying to be polite, but it's not affecting your day to day and making you lose self-confidence, is it?
That's true. Okay. Yes. Right. Okay.
So if you think you have that, or you know somebody who may have that, there are resources so you can help get rid of your FOPO. All right.
So it's being true to your purpose. You got to be true to your purpose. That's how you overcome that.
I like that. True to your purpose. Shall we?
Well, I need to figure out what my purpose is before I can be true to it. Okay. Yes. The question of the day that I will post if I remember.
Okay.
You can also just comment you can answer it right here on the podcast thing that you're on the platform. You can do it. But it will be on Facebook.
What do you wish, or what is something you wish you were taught in high school?
What do you wish they taught you in high school? Like,
go ahead. I've got one.
Go.
I think that there should be classes on how to take rejection. I'm not just, because there's going to be a lot of rejection in your life, and there are jobs and occupations where they're like, be prepared for a lot of rejection. So I think if you can handle that without becoming are you disagreeing? I can't tell by the look on your face.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. Right. I was also going to say that, and kind of goes in line with this, is just like mental and emotional health skills. Like, I'm reading all these self-help books now just because I want to be a better person. I want to show up better in the world.
Oh.
And when I say read, I mean listen to audiobooks. And I think to myself, why didn't we learn this in school? Like, this is stuff we should have learned in school. And when I mention that sometimes to some friends of mine, they're like, kids would never, like, they're never going to pay attention to that. I'm like, okay, right. You might not pay attention to it, but it's sinking in. So, we got to go.
Did I play some get off the stage music to you?
Yeah, that's good.
Question of the day. What do you think? What do you wish they taught you in high school? Please let us know.
Okay, we'll be back with a new episode on Wednesday. Until then, make good choices, find joy, spread kindness, and laugh because it's good for your soul. And wear pink. It's National Pink Day.
Thanks for joining us.